Hey guys, this is the gear again for Austere August, and we're right at the end of the month. And Chiseled Face Midnight Stag is the scent, both in the soap as well as the splash and the cologne. Karve Christopher Bradley with a B plate, solid bar. Omega boar brush. This is the Connaught Jade. Faux Jade one, and it's 011842. Had it soaking for a few minutes. Let's go ahead and put the blade in. Was exhausted last night when I got in, so I didn't do my usual night shave. So I'm shaving here in the wee hours of the morning. So here is the Nacet. Face, need to get it wet. I slept weird, and so my throat's being a little strange. I'll try to pause you before I do any coughing or anything like that. I went on a weekend where I didn't bring my Sharpie, and so I didn't put down any dots. And so I think I'm at 437 maybe right now. But look in the description and the title of the video, and that'll tell you for sure. Let's keep it simple today since I'm pooped, and just do like a 3-second load. That's been doing well for me. I've got my 40 milliliters of water so I can track how much I end up adding. Shake most of the water out is what I have been doing for a long time now. All right, and 1, 2, 3, and there we go. Not even very much water to kind of rake out into my lather bowl here from the top of the soap puck. Doesn't look like all that much soap has been loaded. So right now, as usual, I'm just kind of working the picked up soap together with whatever water was in the brush. Some soaps definitely prefer this. And then we can add some water. I went ahead and just put in 15 milliliters of water because that's probably what I'll end up using. Sometimes I need to tweak it and just add a little bit more. But since I've been using this same soap for the whole month, I can kind of predict how much water I'm going to need. And as you can see, it kind of immediately softens everything up. Now it's time just to get a good mixture. And now that kind of soppy mixture we've mixed all the soap pretty well. It's firmed up. Hey, that one kind of looks like a pig. There's his eye, there's his nose, there's his ears. I wonder if lathers could be like ink blot, psychiatrical analysis tools. Psychiatric analysis tools. See, I haven't had too much sleep, so I tried to make you think that psychiatrical was a word. More, maybe I made myself think that psychiatrical was a word. This is a sleepy shave. Lather looks pretty good. Let's just roll with it. This one may be a little too wet. I think in the past the ones I've used have been a little bit more firm. But the cool thing is, even if it is too wet, it'll still work great. Just won't feel as luxurious. Won't feel quite as creamy. Sometimes the razor might skip in certain sections of your skin, that kind of thing. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's not too wet. Every once in a while I have to rotate it when the center of the brush works all of its lather out. I take the outside, kind of roll it around like that, then push it into the inside to get a good scrub going again. That's pretty good. May have nailed that one just right. Oh, and let me not forget to show you the liquids. The Chiseled Face Midnight Stag EDP. You would have seen them at the end of the shave anyway, but and then there's the aftershave. Lather feels good, smells great as usual. So a little bit more than 24 hours of growth. So the Nacet may bark at me a little bit. With maybe a little more tugginess than I normally get with a 24-hour growth. Nice. Partial rinse there to rehydrate my face. Optional. Trouble is, now that I've kind of gotten up, I don't want to go back to sleep, right? Afraid I'll oversleep my alarm. talked about some of the side challenges that guys have been doing this month with Austere August. One of them is using a gem razor. And it's been neat to watch that happen because I've played around with them a little bit on this channel, but not a lot. And it looks like some of the guys are, going to get the whole 31 days of uses out of one blade. Some of them are saying they'd rather stick to maybe under 20, but that'll be interesting to read everybody's take on that. How many guys are fine with 31? And how many guys would rather abandon them next time, would move on a little sooner. Water there. I know I was watching I believe it was the week 3 video from HD Shaves, and he observed a phenomenon that we have seen in the DE, the double-edged world, and he experienced it with the single edge as well. I don't know if that always happens, but he said that his blade did get kind of tuggy for a couple of passes, and he was definitely tempted to abandon it. But then it just snapped back. It became comfy again, and he's now enjoying good, clean, comfy shaves like he was before. That's definitely something we see as we put a lot of uses on these double-edged razors. And so especially, see, single-edged blades are definitely more expensive than the double-edged counterparts. And so that would make more sense if you're a single-edged fan to maybe keep going through a couple, just because you get a tuggy pass, a tuggy shave, don't throw it away. Unless you just, want to foot the bill. Well, as always, do whatever you want to, but if you're playing around with single edges and you are trying to get a lot of uses out of them, then keep shaving through a couple of tuggy shaves and see if it rebounds. If it does, I'd love to hear from you. If it doesn't, I'd love to hear from you. See how many people are experiencing the good side of that, where it comes back and they keep enjoying it, or whether that's just a few. Water. So now that's 3 passes, and I'm pretty sure my cheeks are just fine. Let's do that against the grain. Work on my tricky spots. And so 3 seconds again provides about 5 passes of lather. So that looks like that might be the sweet spot for this particular soap base and this brush. And I believe that is different than where I settled a couple of years ago in, I guess it would have been 2019 when I did Midnight Stag. And I used a Zenith brush, which I believe has softer tips than this Omega. And so it stands to reason that it would require a few seconds longer, and I believe that's right. It was either 7 or 10 seconds where I settled at my kind of happy place. I believe 7 might have, it's either 5 would do, but it was starting to get skimpy at the end, and so I went with 7 as a general rule, or 7 was what would do and was a little skimpy, and maybe 9 or 10 was better. I can't remember. I want to use the unbent side for my against the grain work here. Nice and comfy, as long as I kind of take this slanted approach, kind of come in as a slant from the left and as a slant from the right. And there we go. And my face feels really hydrated. healthy, all those good words. Saw a guy selling a Karve Christopher Bradley online, and it had crazy water spots on the head. And I think it's simply because he's not drying it. When he's done using it, just kind of shakes it off and puts it away. Of course, I gave mine a little bit of a hand polish with some Brasso and that kind of thing. But if you want to keep those water spots away, just, I think, give it a good towel down after your shave. And I think he was just wanting $70 for, and even he, with those water spots, if he wants to give it a good little hand wash with some Brasso, it'll polish it up. You'll lose that bead blasted finish, but you'll get rid of those water spots. Here's what the bead blasted finish looks like, because I don't polish my base plates, this part of it. So this is what the bead blast, and I like the bead blasted look, but I just couldn't help but polish my top cap up. I'm glad I did. I like it. I saw some people who had done it. I enjoyed it. Well, there we go. That was a good shave. Still wish I could just lay down and take a nap before work starts, but don't think I have that luxury. But hey, at least I'll kind of get a head start to my day. Maybe be able to finish on time or a little bit early. Maybe I'll take a nap at lunch. You know, sometimes I do that. I use up my lunch hour and just take a quick nap. I am actually breaking out on my arm. I got some bumps here, and I'm certain it's from the EDP here. It's just got some stuff in it that this, you know, of course, the inside of your forearm is kind of a tender area. So I'm going to do 2 sprays there, and then what we're doing 5 sprays now. So then we'll go ahead and put some on my arm. Got to be careful. This thing slipped out of my hand the other day because my hand had the aftershave on it. I'm going to do an extra one because I got a weak spray right there. All right. So that's 5 sprays. A pair of 5 sprays. So 10 total sprays because of my dedication to Midnight Stag Challenge that Stephen Joyner of Dogwood Handcrafts has put out. And I'm gonna go ahead and add 2 dots to my card. And that, I believe, is how it should look before I started this shave. So then I want to add another dot. I think that's accurate. I think we're looking at 437 shaves on the Nacet. But again, check the text description and or title, and that should have the official count in there. And at the end of my shave, that is when I got mentioned by the Immutable Michael Friedberg in his live broadcast recently, and I believe one of you guys, maybe Zachary, somebody mentioned it. Somebody made a crack about, are you using Sugar Daddy's Nacet, you know, and that kind of thing. And then somebody made another comment, and maybe I would get mad at him for something, but I kind of missed what the subject of that one was. But he said, nah, and he's right. So I enjoyed that video from him. He was shaving off his beard that he had grown for 12 days, maybe while he was on vacation. And he chose to use, and this is, I believe, the first time I've heard him say that the Karve Christopher Bradley was his favorite razor. It had kind of become the top one for him. And he was using a pretty aggressive head, a de-open comb, I think. And that one's probably too aggressive for me in general use. But if I had a 12-day beard, I'd probably be able to use it for that first pass. He didn't continue using it. He switched to a C, solid bar, and finished his shave off with that. And used a Vashkod blade. Those are kind of marginal for me, but he really likes them. And that was what he was doing. It was a good watch. And I think I've shown you how much lather we had left. I believe I pretty much nailed, and got the lather just right. It had a slight edge of creaminess to it, plenty of water. Skin felt healthy afterwards. It felt slick the whole way through, and that's exactly what I want. We put on the liquids and the basin method here. I'm really liking it. In general use, I think it's just as good as having a sink. Now, there are a few operations that I would rather have a sink for, but in general, I really like it. But the only thing that I'm not liking as much, because I got my swish bowl right there to rinse my razor with all the hair and suds and stuff, so that's the mostly sudsy bowl. But then the basin underneath me here is for mostly clean water and a little bit of suds, that comes off my hands or my face. And I'm really enjoying that method. The only part is the cleaning up afterwards, the taking 2 bowls, well, technically 3, but making 2 trips to the bathroom to rinse those items out. But that's all right. It's all right. It's fun to embrace a different kind of shaving every once in a while. And this lets me be able to take my time. I'm doing it in my room instead of in the bathroom. I don't have to worry about anybody interfering or knocking on the door. And I also I'm looking at all my shave gear right here. I can make a little shelf here for stuff that's forthcoming and, that sort of thing. I've enjoyed that aspect a lot. If I've got something new that's coming up, if I ever mention it in a shave where I'm not actually using it, then it's right here and I can grab it and show it to you. So that's pretty neat. I really enjoy that part too. All right, well, I think we're good. The good news is the power of the Midnight Stag is going to be able to come through me today, to come along with me today. Instead of me sleeping part of the usage off of my arms, I'll be able to smell it all day for sure, anytime I want. So that's a perk of shaving in the hours of the morning. You guys, take care. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves, and that's a good one. That's a wrap. I enjoyed watching HD Shave's recent video, as well as Michael Friedberg's on the way home last night. I caught both of those and really enjoyed them. Take care, guys. Good night.